Happy New Year! So welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Munir Al-Azzi from easymedicaldevice.com. And first, I want to wish you, all of you, a happy new year. All my best wishes for 2022. I hope it will be better than 2021. I wish you health. I wish you prosperity. I hope the situation in 2022 will become better in the pandemic situation, but also in the regulatory situation for medical devices. And today we'll make an update of what happened last month in December and what will happen in the next following months. So let's start this January 2021 update for the medical devices. Okay, first, a good news. So we talked about that during the last months. We talked about the proposal for the in vitro diagnostic to be rolling out progressively after the 26th of May 2022. And it was approved. So we got the approval, and you can go on the show notes to get all the links. So we can expect now that there will be a delay, if I can say, for some products classification. For example, the highest risk product, the class D, will become delayed until May 2025, the class C until May 2026, and the class B and A sterile will be until May 2027. And one of the other good news, because we talked also about that during on the podcast, it's about I know it's not on podcast yet. It was it was a discussion with Eric Volbrecht. We talked about the in-house devices under in vitro diagnostics. So many devices that are or methods. In vitro diagnostic methods that are made by hospitals or laboratories, but are done by them and not purchased on the market. And for those products now, there is also a delay of 2 years. So mainly it's until May 2024 that there will be the application of the IVDR. And if in case at that day there is no equivalency, then we'll go until a transition period until 2028. So these are good news for the in vitro diagnostic regulation, but there is still some categories that has to apply by the 26th of May 2022, which is class A device. So if you have some equipment, some laboratory equipment, etc., and they are classified as class A, you have then to have your products that are having their quality management system, technical documentation, everything available to be then able to transition to the in vitro diagnostic regulation. So don't hesitate to go on the show notes to just see the information from the EU Commission. And I hope, if you are impacted, I hope this will give you a relief, I can say, in terms of the application of in vitro diagnostic. But don't hesitate. You have really to transition anywhere at any time. You will have to transition. So don't wait anymore. Try to do it as soon as possible. But we know, and we'll talk about that later, the number of notified bodies is not helping too much. So I hope there will be also more notified bodies that will be coming there. Okay, let's stay also on the in vitro diagnostics. Let's continue on the in vitro diagnostics about expert panels. So in December, we had a lot of publication of experts panel. So we had 4 exactly. We have, for example, the first one about screen donor samples for HIV, RNA in plasma samples. We have the detection of West Nile virus, RNA in plasma and serum specimens. We had the test for direct detection of Babesia DNA and RNA in whole blood samples. Or we have the qualitative in vitro nucleic acid screening test for the direct detection of Zika virus RNA in human plasma. And there are mainly good information there about if those products were following all the information about in vitro diagnostic. There is one, which is the last one, where there is more recommendation from the expert committee, but for all the others, mainly the recommendation was approval for moving forward. So there is an acceleration here on these kind of things. And if you are on the in vitro diagnostic business and you are having those class D devices, then I think, for me, my advice, look at those expert panel review documents because it tells you exactly what they are looking for, what they will accept, not accept. So you have no excuses, if I can say, to say, oh, I didn't know that or didn't know this. You can go there. It's public. All is on the show notes also. Check what exactly they were reviewing, what they didn't like, what they liked, etc. And try to follow their recommendation there also. Okay, we have now the agenda for the MDCG 2022. So it's always interesting to see the topics that will be discussed on this agenda. So we have the topics like Annex 16 devices. Mainly, we are really waiting for that. It is planned in Q1 2022. We'll see if it remains that. But a reminder: if you are a device that is on this list, Annex 16 list, then as soon as those common specifications will be published for Annex 16, then you have 6 months to apply the common specification. So it means that you have 6 months to have a notified body and have all the review made by the notified body. And it's nearly impossible unless you have already planned that, you have already now chosen your notified body, you have already made an application, you have already discussed with them about planning, because as we discussed with Dr. Roy Van Haan, so from TÜV Süd, so the planning with notified bodies is the key for you to succeed. So don't hesitate to really look at that. And there will be also some discussion about UDAMED on the MDCG sessions, post-marketing surveillance and vigilance, and in vitro diagnostics. So mainly there is a lot of topics that are remaining, and we'll see on the next topic that this is also something that is really important, those MDCG guidance, because mainly this tries to clarify the situation for in vitro diagnostic or for MDR. And we'll see also a topic later where apparently it's not clarifying more, it's more creating more doubts than clarification, but we'll look at that just after. Okay, Team Notified Body issued a position paper related to the MDR and IVDR implementation. And they are making a lot of proposals. I can say good in my opinion, but it's proposals for the EU Commission or for letting go things. So the topics are mainly the risk of bottleneck for notified bodies by end of 2024. As we said, a lot of manufacturers, they did renew their certificate just before the date of application, which means that they can go until end of 2024, mid of 2024, so May 26, 2024, for their certificate, which means that a lot of manufacturers will have their certificates expiring at the same moment, which means that there is a need of a lot of notified bodies to apply there. There is some proposals to try to encourage manufacturers to get certified before the end of the expiration of their certificates. But yeah, this should be normally obvious for a lot of manufacturers, because if they wait later, then there would be really a massacre here. The other is about remote audit, because they are not harmonized between member states, which creates a lot of disadvantage for things. So mainly there is also some opinions there. The impacts also of COVID-19 on the PMCF and PMPF for legacy devices. So you can imagine that before the COVID, you have maybe issued a PMCF plan or study where you say, oh, we'll do this number of investigation, this check, this, etc., with a lot of planning, if I can say, or prognostic. And COVID-19 arrived, and then a lot of things were cancelled. People were not able to go to hospitals, or there was priority made on other diseases, on COVID-19 disease instead of other diseases that are related to those devices, which means that people were not able to collect the data they wanted to collect. So this is mainly one of a big issue about PMCF, which can be a problem for also certification of medical devices. So they are alerting on that. And the last one is the one we just talked before. So MDCG guidance. The issue is that there is a lot of guidances that are missing. So it's also a big problem for notified bodies and for the implementation of the MDR and IVDR. So you can read this position paper and look at all the proposals that make the team NB. I think it's a good one. So maybe it's interesting that you see that, and maybe that you can push for those proposals to move forward. Okay. A famous topic now, the electronic instruction for use. Each week or each month, I get some question about, can I use electronic instruction for use for my devices? So the objective is mainly to avoid having some papers with the device. And the answer is, it depends. So now we have the publication of the update on the electronic instruction for use for medical devices. And there inside there is the condition for using electronic instruction for use, and I can just mention to you what they are. So mainly you can use electronic instruction for use at the place of papers only in the case of medical devices that are implantable and active implantable medical devices and their accessories. If you have a fixed installed medical device and their accessories, if you have medical devices and their accessories fitted with a built-in system visually displaying the instruction for use, a software also can be used, but only in the case that this device and accessories are intended to be used by professionals, by people. So mainly, if it's used by a lay person, this is not authorized. But if it's used by professional, then it's fine. So mainly, this is the fact that they have access to the tools to be able to check the instruction for use and to read about that. So mainly, this is, I think, the objective of that. So this is really important, which means also that you can combine paper and instruction for use, electronic instruction for use, which means that you can have a paper document plus a version on your website. Be careful that the version on your website is always updated each time that you have a change on your instruction for use. But you cannot have an instruction for use only if you are not part of this category, an electronic instruction for use, if you are not part of this category here, which is really important. Okay, now we talk about Germany. So Germany, I don't know if you look at that, but they have a process which is called DIGA. So DIGA is mainly a reimbursement process in Germany for digital applications, so prescribed by doctors or that are not prescribed. So mainly you have to go a certain pathway. And we discussed about that in episode 75 with Stefan Bollinger, so I will put that also on the show notes. So if you are selling a digital application for health in Germany, you can go through this DIGA process where you can claim for reimbursement for the patient on these things, and which helps you to boost, if I can say, your device to be on the market. But mainly there are maybe a lot of things to follow, and to help you, the Germany, so BfArM, issued a guidance which is called fast track process for DIGA. So mainly this is a process where a fast track, which means that help you to have that available within 3 to 4 months in German market, which can be a good, if I can say, boost for your company. So if you are developing digital application and if you are trying to sell that in Germany, then it's worth really to look at this kind of process because mainly this will help you to have a lot of people getting that because it's prescribed by their practitioner. Okay, Switzerland, so our preferred country. So if you are going to Switzerland, so just a reminder, the MRA between Switzerland and Europe is still not signed. Since December 31st, 2021, you need now an authorized representative and an importer for class 3 devices. Then it will be in March for class 2A and 2B, and to be in July for class 1. So there is some help that was provided by Swissmedic in a guidance that is mainly about the mentioning labels of the Swiss authorized representative and importer also. So this guidance for now is in German. We have had the translation, a translation made by Kunik, and I put that also on the show notes. So Angelina Hakim made the translation in English for that. So you can look at the table with what are the different dates of application. But here there is a distinction between MDR products and MDD products, IVDD products. Mainly this is the point where there are some products that are where you have to have the CH rep, so authorized representative, mentioned in the label, but there are also some exceptions that says, oh, it's in the label, in the packaging, or in the document accompanying the device, and this is mainly one of the difference. So there is a date where it says before that date, before 2023, for example, you can place this information on any of those documents. But after the date, so that 31st of July 2023, then you have to place this directly on the labeling. So it gives you more flexibility, if I can say, because mainly what we are hoping is that there will be the signature of the MRA between Europe and Switzerland, which means that at the end there will be no need anymore of a CH rep or an importer. But for now, there is a need of that, and this is why there is those recommendations that is available. But go on the show notes and you'll have also the translation. You have the German one if you read German, but you'll have also the translation to be able to look at that. Swissmedic also updated the mandate form for a notification of a Swiss authorized representative and the manufacturer. So it's also on the show notes. So if you are using one of those to notify to Swissmedic, if your Swiss authorized representative is using one of those, then you'll have to update that. So don't use that. I mean, you can use the old one, but the Swissmedic will be telling you that this is not the good one and you'll have to redo it again. So here is the new mandate also. Okay, so if you need an authorized representative in Switzerland, so Easy Medical Device is providing this support. And a new service that we are doing now is that we are also providing the support in terms of importer. So if you need also an importer in Switzerland, then we can do also the exercise of importer. This is something that is needed, is mandatory. So if you are selling directly from, for example, France or UK or Germany to Switzerland, you need an authorized representative and you need an importer in the case the sales is not done to a healthcare facility that will be using that directly. If it's done to a company that will be selling that in Switzerland, then you need an importer mainly for this exercise here. And we can help you for that. So don't hesitate to contact us at swiss@easymedicaldevice.com, Swiss, SWISS @easymedicaldevice.com. Okay, let's go to USA now. So in the USA, we have a report that is made, which is called MedSun. So mainly this report is the reporting that is coming from 300 hospitals, some nursing homes, and some home health facilities in the US, where they tell you a lot of the defects that are happening. They compile a lot of information about the defects that are happening. And I just had a look at the December 2021 report, and it's also on the show notes, so you can go and look at that. And mainly the issues that we see are on the COVID-19 false positive tests. So mainly there is recalls about those tests because when it's negative, it's fine, but when it's positive, sometimes it's positive, but it's wrong. You are not really getting any COVID. So it can be a healthcare situation where people think they have COVID when they don't have, which can be also creating some problems here. The second one is about Datascope, Gettinger and Mackey battery failure. So mainly there is issues on those batteries and there was some recalling made by the company. So if you are on this case, maybe also in Europe, you can understand that, this information related to US can also be happening in Europe. So it's not like something that is strictly for US. What can be interesting by reading that is for you, if you have those kind of devices, to know that here what happened for maybe your competitor or devices that maybe you are using. There is also a notification related to a leadless pacing system. There is a risk of major complication that is related to cardiac perforation during implantation. So this is kind of major risk. And there is a report at the end about highlighted report with a lot of devices failure that happen with their problems, with the situation, etc. So this kind of source is also something that can be important for you for post-marketing surveillance, for clinical evaluation report if you are trying to get information from devices. So I think this is also something that can be helping you in case of need. So you can also get registered within this newsletter and you'll get this report every month also if needed. So go to the show notes, go to the document, and at the end of the document there is a link for registering for this newsletter. Okay, let's go now to Saudi Arabia, so Middle East. So we have had a presentation made by the engineer Abdullah Al-Ghuraibi, where we talk about how to register a device in Saudi Arabia, SFDA. So this presentation is really well done. It explains all the steps, all the different activities, all the things that are also going in Saudi Arabia, like Saudi Unique Device Identification, so UDI. So there is a lot of details that are on this presentation, and it can be a good beginner introduction if you are planning to sell your products in Saudi Arabia. At the same time, you have also an update of the DOC, Declaration of Conformity template. So if you are selling your products in Saudi Arabia, you have also this DOC to create, and there is a new template that was also provided within the SFDA website. So I put that also on the show notes, so don't hesitate to go there. Okay, training. So, Easy Medical Device reiterate again the training, so Green Belt certificate this month in January. So it will start January 24th until January 28th, and then the following week there will be the exam that will be available. So the idea of this training is for people that want to get EU MDR trained. There is all the information updated also related to EU MDR. The first day we'll talk about general information, deadline, etc. for UMDR. The second day about economic operator. The third day about classification, about conformity assessment, about notified bodies. The fourth day about technical documentation, clinical evaluation, GSPR, etc. And the fifth day about UDAMED and UDI. So we have now more than 1,000 people that were participating to these trainings. We have also the trainings that is free, which is the mini course where we talk also about EUMDR. So don't hesitate to go there and to try to register. So there is the free course and there is the paid course, which is the green belt here. So go also on the show notes and you'll get the link for registering for this course. And at the end, normally, if you pass the certificate, you'll get a diploma certified that you have succeeded at this training. But you get also an attestation of participation even if you have not succeeded at the training. So just attestation saying that you have had this training, and you can show that to any notified bodies or any people to tell them that yes, you had the training, and you'll get all the material, all the information that you can show in case of question by a notified body also. Okay, MDCG guidance now. So the guidances were really missing last month. So we didn't have anyone. So now this time we have the MDCG 2021-27, where we have the question and answers on Article 13 and 14, which is importer and distributor. This was an interesting one because, this is the one that I talked before to say normally the MDCG guidance is creating some clarity on some processes. Here, apparently, this one is creating more question than answers, question than answers. So one thing that is mentioned also on the article of Eric Volbrecht. So Eric Volbrecht issued a post where he talks about this MDCG guidance. And what he said mainly there is that the definition of the placing on the market is now is different from the one that is on the Blue Guide or one even that is on the MDR, which creates some question here. Is it a typo or is it intentional? And the second one is about the importer relabeling. So the question that was raised there is the fact that, okay, if you as an importer, you see that there is a label already on the product which is mentioning another importer, are you the importer or are you not the importer? I mean, it's like that. But the question is more, will you place this device on the market, or was it already placed by somebody else? Then you will not be anymore the importer, but you will be the distributor, etc., etc. So you see here how complicated it can be. So Eric is talking about that and is showing to us what is working and not working on this kind of situation there. Okay, then we have the MDCG 2021-28, which is more on the clinical evaluation, when there is some substantial modification of the clinical investigation, So here we have mainly a form that will be used to notify that there is some substantial changes to the clinical investigation. So it's an additional template that can be used by anybody if you are doing any clinical investigation here. Okay, notified bodies now. So how many notified bodies this month? So in December, we had a good surprise because nearly the last day, the 30th, I think, of December, we got a new notified body that was appointed for MDR, not IVDR, for MDR, which is TÜV Nord Cert, a German one again. So congratulations, TÜV Nord Cert. It was really great to see a last one before the end of the year, which is kind of a gift for manufacturers. So let's make the count now. So we have now within MDR 26 notified bodies. Within IVDR, still 6 notified bodies. It's not really growing up. And just to make a comparison, because I'm working a lot also on the personal protective equipments, the mask, etc. And here on personal protective equipments, for example, if you go to the Nando database, you have 113 notified bodies. So you can see here the gap between personal protective equipment that can not be focused on medical devices. It can be also protection for when you are doing some construction or whatever, and medical devices that is mainly more than half, less than what is on the personal protective equipment. So we still need notified bodies. I'm sure there will be still new ones that will be accredited. But yeah, this is mainly what Team NB was mentioning on their report, to say, yeah, there will be a bottleneck at a certain point. So we need really to have more notified bodies, but also maybe to have some proposal to mitigate some of the risks that will be happening there. But yeah, this is the current situation. Okay, what happened now within Easy Medical Device? So within the last month, within December, so we had 3 new podcast episodes. The first one was about custom-made devices with Eric Volbrecht. So we tried to explain what is a custom-made device, what changed with the previous medical device directive, and also with the explanation about the medical device MDCG guidance that was also issued for custom-made devices. So you can go to episode 158 to look at that, and to, if I can say, if you are really making some custom-made devices, you have to ask yourself, are you still a custom-made device company or not? Because there is a change on the definition here. Then we have episode 159, which is the step-by-step recipe for MDR and IVDR certification. So I tried within this episode to explain to you the different steps that you can follow to be MDR or IVDR certified. This is the thing that I'm explaining to my customers when they are coming and asking me, oh, I have this type of device, I want to be MDR certified, what should I do? And here is mainly what I'm trying to explain to them within this episode. The fact that you have to have a quality management system, the fact that we have to make a gap between what you have done already and what you haven't. Are you new on the market, or you are somebody that was already MDD before, etc., etc. So explaining all those things, and then making a plan to define when we can consider that you can be MDR certified or IVDR certified. This is exactly the same rules for IVDR also. And episode 160, where I'm making the summary of 2021. So it's mainly an episode where I'm trying to give you some hints on what were the topics that were mostly discussed. Also the question that people were asking me, and one of the top one, if I can say, is mainly the clinical evaluation, where we have a lot of manufacturers that are coming now and saying, oh, we have got an audit with our notified body and they don't accept anymore our clinical evaluation. They raised a lot of non-conformances. Can you help us to correct that, etc.? So this is mainly one of the most important things that we are getting for the moment. But yeah, we know that 2021 was with a lot of new things like Brexit, like Swixit, like MDR application, and 2022 will also be with a lot of things with IVDR also, and we know that now there is a change in terms of the application for some of the devices. But we continue with MDR. We are in a transition period actually, so it means that until 2024 there will be a lot of things that are happening within the MDR field. So you have still to transition to the MDR, and it's something that you have to have on focus, because without that you cannot sell your products anymore on the market. Okay, so I think we covered all the topics that I wanted to discuss. In 2021, 2022, there will be more things to discuss. But if you have any subject that you are maybe interested about, so let me know, and I will try or to find the information and try to provide that to you, or I can invite a guest and then we can discuss about this topic and answer maybe your question directly there. Okay, so don't hesitate to contact me at info@easymedicaldevice.com, info@easymedicaldevice.com. Remember, so we are not just making podcasts, we are also helping manufacturers. So if you have any project and you need some consultants, so let me know and I can try to help you. If you need some trainings also for your company, let me know and we can build that for you. If you need an authorized representative in UK, in Europe and in Switzerland, we are also here. And as I've said, we are now building a new service, which is importer in Europe and in Switzerland. So if you need any importer in Europe and Switzerland, contact us and we'll try to onboard you on this new service. Okay, so it was really a pleasure for me to have this discussion with you, and I wish you a nice day.